Hello, everyone. Trouble at Mill. Skews, wheels gone skew on treadle. Hello. Thanks for bearing with me. Everything went. I was talking with the guests here on Discord. Discord suddenly started not reacting to me. Then my YouTube didn't, and then my OBS software died. Everything's reset. I don't know why it's happened. As you can see, it's gone back to the other background. That's weird. Right. It should be. Have you? Right. Glass, Andreas. Have you got me now? It's showing currently 16 people watching. You're watching the right one, yeah. Oh, it now says 25 watching. It's a bit delayed. There's some issues. Yeah. Wow. Hello, everyone. Thanks for bearing with me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, back. Das Aaron LP. Don't know what happened. I don't know if it was my PC. It's a little worrying. I did an upgrade about 2 days ago. I did an upgrade about 2 days ago. I had to ditch all the memory. It had 16 gig of RAM. I went to 32, but to make sure it all matched, I had to replace it all. It hadn't been a problem, but it's just a little worrying, just in case there's an issue with the brand new DRAMs. Yeah, I hope not. We'll have to see. Because aside from tonight, it's been okay. Let's call it a glitch. It's a glitch. Hello, Tiffany H. S. Thurston 2. Yeah, Doug Wittenboss is here. And Rachie. 9 o'clock, 2747, 27, Opus 1, Sickness TSP, Pixel Domination, Demon Orb, Globomom. Okay, I don't know where we were, guys. Where were we? Probably. Unfortunately, we had, we had 100, I don't know exactly how many people we had, 100 odd people, didn't we? I hope so. What I'll have to do is afterwards, I'll have to put, edit a card into the end of the other video to point at this one if people are watching it, so they can carry on. And as Andrea says, please hit the thumbs up once more. Oh, yeah. Something Mandalorian. It probably was. Thank you. But you know what's... Have you noticed... This is really weird, though. Have you noticed as can you guys hear me? Yeah. Have you noticed, as well as the background reverting to that old green screen thing, the spinning Mr. Sensible has jumped to the other side? Yeah. So it's by itself. I'm moving it back again. So there's been some real funnies happening. Gremlins. Someone mentioned Magwai earlier on. The Force wasn't with you on this stream. No, I'm afraid not. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it sounds okay. Oh, you can't hear Discord. They can't hear you guys.
For us.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? You couldn't hear that lot. Right then. Yeah, so don't say that again, Globe Mom. I think that's absolutely filthy. You should not be allowed to say things like that.
I won't repeat what I said. That was not appropriate. I apologize.
Yeah. And
we were talking about.
but Globe Mom.
Star Trek or Star.
Globe Mom, please leave the wet leather out of it next time, okay?
I will. I'll leave the whips out too, okay?
Okay. Hello, PhD Tony. $5 Australian. Very kind of you to make my tech fail of a few weeks ago look not so bad. Much appreciated, good sir. Thanks, Tony. Actually, I don't mind you saying that, Tony, because it cost you $5 Australian to say it. Oh, yeah. Oh, look! I've got the Arnolds up there. Were those at the top of the screen with the super chat? Were they?
Now your Sensible shifted over again. You're spinning Mr. Sensible.
Yeah, I just moved him.
Mm-hmm.
But
I didn't see it.
When that super chat came in, there was an icon.
Now.
When the super chat came in, there was an icon of Arnold up here.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's right. That should be there, but I didn't notice with the
earlier. When I wasn't
You
sure.
did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's your super chat notification thingy.
Yeah, it was up near the top of the screen. That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about the spinning Mr. Sensible that's about to do an Arnold right now. If you watch it in the next few seconds,
I'm watching. Mm-hmm.
With a subscribe message. But there's a bigger Arnold appeared near the top of the screen when Tony's super chat came in. But did you see it earlier on with my earlier super chats?
It's right there. Replaces your Mr. Sensible icon when it does it.
There it is.
Mm-hmm. It just went.
But did you guys, when I received super chats earlier, did you notice? Was there?
They did it.
Yes, there was a bigger Arnold on the top of the screen. We saw it.
Yeah, are you talking about just now with that chat from PhD Tony, or earlier on when we were on the other stream?
No, just this one.
The one in their stream replaces the Arnold I saw replaces your little spinning Mr. Sensible icon.
Yeah, right. I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do this myself. Hold on a second.
Just thinking, each of those individual little sensible icons that's rotating, they're about the same thickness as Team Skeptic when he turns sideways.
Right, guys. I'm going to do a super chat to myself right now.
Okay.
And what I should do is I'll send that now. It will obviously take a while to come through. I was going to ask for my credit card. Yes.
Maybe I should send one.
It's just going to come
through.
through.
Don't say the numbers out loud.
What was that number again? I got Notepad open. What was that number?
Oh, it's not doing it. It's just. Oh no, Oh, it doesn't like it. Oh, that's weird. I hope my credit card hasn't busted. Oh, I'll forget that. Never mind. Right. When or if I get a super chat, please, can people see, is there a big Arnold up here where I'm pointing? Oh, Brainery just super chatted. Let's watch the screen. It may take a few seconds. 30 Swedish krona with a fist bump icon. I know what that one is, but nothing's appeared on. Oh, yes, it has. Watch. It's kind of come up. Go, Arnold. Go, Arnold. There's a bit of it. There we go. Yeah. Because I set that up the other day. I didn't notice if it worked when we were doing the stream Mark 1.
There it goes.
Yeah.
It just did it.
Thanks for that, Brainery. Appreciate that. Fist bump indeed. Yo. What I do
it's up there.
What I do want to talk to everybody about is Mage 3.
Ooh.
Mage 3. Because
Nice.
To the moon.
Could be. Yeah, thanks, Brainery. I'll check that out. Mage 3. I'm not even Q doesn't know what I'm thinking on this right now. I haven't discussed it with anyone, but I'm wondering what people's general thoughts are, because with Mage 2, those flat earthers have either misrepresented, misunderstood, or ignored it. Okay, so I'm wondering how much it's worth doing again.
All three.
Or should I go for something completely different? Because there's something else I could do with a Mage 3 that isn't to prove or disprove flat Earth. It's just something else that's really, really interesting. So what I'm asking is, do people think I should just do whatever that might be of interest to people with a high altitude balloon flight, or do they think I should do further experiments of one sort or another with regard to the shape of the Earth? So please let me know. And guys, what do you think?
Well, the last one you did what? Air pressure? You did what? Tested air pressure?
There was air pressure and obviously the photos.
The photos. Well, yes, so you have the balloon, though. So that one, I would say send a balloon up inside of it, but you already have the balloon that's going to go up on. So
Well,
That
actually,
right there is
I
given.
just noticed, and my apologies, have two others waiting in
Oh, yes.
the chat, so I'm going to bring those in. So let's bring in Das Aaron LP and Mitch. Good evening, Das Aaron. Good evening, Mitch.
Hello.
Hello. I did see, Das Aaron, that you had just posted a message, but what do you think about Mage 3? I see that Heat Shield just said Mage 2 was perfect. Well, it was, in that it everything worked. It got good imagery, it got good data, and what the hell have they done with that? Ignored it. Or
Yep.
Of course.
I dismissed it.
Ranty Flat Earth tried to debunk the wide-angle camera. Turnip Peelings didn't even know what he was looking at. What's his name? What is his name? The guy who...
Brandon Toy.
Brandon Toy, yeah. Brandon Toy just cherry-picked and ignored all the evidential photos and just went for whatever he felt was the most distorted. There's someone else... Oh, Level Earth Observer just said it's not... what was it? Practically... Oh, God, I can't remember his phrase. But he's not tackled it. Nathan Oakley's ignored it. So, do I send up another balloon with its attendant costs, which I don't mind, but send up another balloon with its attendant costs to do some more measuring, observation, whatever, just to have them ignore it, misrepresent it, cherry pick it again? Or do I just say, stuff it, with regard to high altitude balloons, let's do something that's just fun, interesting, or different?
Fun, interesting, different.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any
As they say, you can't fix stupid.
No.
Stupid is universal. It's eternal.
Didn't Team Skeptic say that before? Can't fix
Yeah.
stupid.
Can't fix
Well,
stupid.
I think everyone says it.
Yeah, Ron
Several
White
flat
was the one
earthers.
that coined that, I guess. Can't fix stupid.
Well, General
Yeah.
E. Shady super chatted $5 Australian. Thank you, General. Saying this is why you throw out old green cheese. Once it escapes, it contaminates everything, gives your computer a virus, and makes you yak. Go Mage 3. Thank you,
That's
General.
what happened. Some spores got loose and got onto your computer.
Well, yeah, it could be. It could be. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
If
It's worth brainstorming, though.
well, that's what I really would like people's views on it, because, for instance, if well, let's just say, for the sake of argument, Nathan Oakley tackled with a debunked video or in a debate, tackled Mage 3 and came up with some good points or some valid ways of saying, well, we can't trust that observation because, then we could try and address it, try and improve it.
Yeah, that won't happen.
No, it won't happen because
His argumentation is this is not valid because I don't believe, I don't care, you are stupid, and nuh-uh.
Well, that's probably about it.
Don't forget scientifically illiterate, too. Got to have those two words together.
Or you'll hear the loud proclaiming, "The Earth is flat. Take a flyer."
Yeah, so I mean, if they're not going to address it, that doesn't give me anything to try and fix
No.
or improve upon.
Unfortunately, yeah.
In which case, I am very sorely tempted to say, stuff it. I've proven what I want to prove because you've not been able to debunk it. You've not even raised any sensible questions over it. So instead, I'm going to, I don't know, do whatever I might do that could be fun, interesting, or whatever. Wow.
Because honestly, people that dismissed your footage, they could be sent up in a rocket and visually see the Earth for themselves and come back with, well, I was drugged or, whatever. You know what I mean? And totally dismissed what they saw. So nothing we do is ever going to be good enough.
Well, this is true. And as it says in the corner, it's a globe. I checked.
It's a globe. Yep. Yeah, suck it up,
How
Prince.
about,
Yes, thank you. Einbert Alstein. I love that name. Einbert Alstein. Thank you, Einbert.
Oh, I see it. Yep.
Suck it up, princess.
Suck it up.
Definitely.
Or the famous song. Round, round, the earth is round.
Send Nathan Thompson up in it without a parachute. Yeah. Well, the Black
how about-
Swans
I'm gonna go up there and cry.
says some
and-
method
and
of stabilizing the
complain.
platform might be the next step. Just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are apparently some possibilities with gyros and whatever else.
Okay.
But it might make it more pleasant to watch, without a doubt, without having it spin so much. But, it does pause at times and go the other way. You can take a snapshot, but the thing is, they just denied what we showed them. One guy put several comments in one of the videos saying, "Ha! You're trying to prove that the Earth is a globe, but I can see it's bending this way. It's going convex. It's going concave." He did it in the unedited wide cam version that says wide cam, where above the thing at the bottom it says wide camera, and where I introduce it and say this is the wide camera, that it's distorted and it's not used as evidence. But that's the one he tried to debunk.
Of course,
Go
they
figure.
do.
How dumb can you be?
They have
And
no other
They
chance.
They don't dare try to debunk the camera with the strings in it. I
Well,
wonder what would
Not,
happen
not strings.
if
Artificial horizon.
yes.
what would happen
Yep.
if I sent up my glider with only the forward-facing camera, no wide cams at all?
Well, I mean,
You could release the footage of the forward-facing camera first, wait a few days, then the idiots come in, and then release the other stuff.
we can. I mean, the very first debunk, if you like, you've got the main Mage camera, and just in the top there was the little version of the balloon and the wide camera. So what did Ranty do? He totally ignored the whole screen and pulled down the wide angle, and then said it was the same camera. As Blue Marble
Right.
says, when we say, what is it we say? I've forgotten. How stupid can you be? It's not a challenge.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Demon Orb says
That's true.
grid fins for the drop.
Sorry, says
But I
what?
Grid fins for the drop. Something to help stabilize it. Grid fins.
I think I can do
Yeah.
4K
That's
for
what he was
4
saying.
hours.
But
Yeah, the problem with 4K is processing it afterwards.
oh yeah,
That was bad enough trying to do that with the resolution we were working at. Mage 3, teach Flurfus how to read.
How about not doing a balloon, but a laser bouncing on the moon?
yeah, but they're gonna disregard that too. You know.
No, the moon ain't real. It's just a orb,
Right.
glowing orb, and it's held up by
That's quite an interesting thought, though.
It is an interesting thought, but they're gonna just hand wave dismiss it. So
Yeah, but with something like that, let's say I was doing that. I have no idea what's involved, but that's what I would do research to find
Right.
out. But let's say
True.
that I decide, yep, that's a possibility. I can get hold of a suitable laser. This is what I need to do. This is when I need to do it. With something like that, I could invite Flat Earther or two to that.
I've got access to a green chemical laser. It'd be powerful enough.
But I would come, but I'm not a flat earther.
PhD Tony says some sort of real-time
You can invite-
broadcast. Yeah, Tony, that can be done.
Yeah.
Getting a good signal can be a bit of an issue because you can lose and regain the signal. The signals we were receiving were picked up by multiple people around the country, and then the signals are sent to a central server. With regard to heat shield, thank you. If you've got some ideas, please contact me. And then when it comes to it, let's say I've got my signal, I've got my video showing the flight up happening right now. Unless they're watching it live, they're just going to say that's a fake. If they watch it now, no different. I don't know.
Now, could you do it again? But before you send it up, do like a video of the one camera with the lines on it, showing here's what this is where explaining about the no distortion part in the middle, or the very little distortion in the middle, showing something to show, look, there's no distortion in this part of the video, and this is what we're going to use as our basis or something for the curve, something like that. I mean, they probably would still ignore that, but you at least have that, look, I put this on my video showing you on the ground before it went up, you know?
No, I appreciate that. I think my mistake was not appreciating fully how dishonest, underhand, and disingenuous these people could be, because I showed an image of Mage with the strings. I did explain about it. I know what you're saying. Yeah, do something more evidential to show some film from the camera to show, look, you can tell here's a straight line, as it goes up it bends this way as it goes. Yes, I could do more on that, but it does start to make me think, what's the bloody point? Martin H says, so far, Mr. Sensible, you've demonstrated how refraction can reveal things beyond the horizon, how umbra and penumbra work, and how the Earth is spherical. What's left? Thank you, Martin. Yeah. Instantly, those two experiments, the refraction and the umbra penumbra, are available for anyone to use. I've got a playlist of I've forgotten what it's called now, experiments or something. They're short videos that people are welcome to use within their videos, or I have had a couple of people say that they're going to show them in school, which is nice. And someone said that they were going to show some of the Mage stuff in a school, which is absolutely brilliant.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Isn't it just? So I might look into the laser thing just to see if there's any way I could do anything like that.
Yeah.
But I do have something. Well, I had two longer term ideas. One of which is hideously expensive. I mean, hideously expensive. And if I was going to do it, it really would be a case of fundraising, big time. I mean, really big time. But for the foreseeable future, it can't happen. And that's not to do with actually getting the money to do it or not. It just can't happen.
Are you going to hold us in suspense and not tell us?
Yes. Because I'm not going to give my ideas away until I'm ready. So there's
you shouldn't.
Yeah, there is that one. But there's another one which is a more reasonable price. Would still require some fundraising, although I'm happy to put in a goodly part myself. However, due to the current situation with COVID and so on, that's currently also not something that can happen. But if that situation resolves itself, and let's all hope so with vaccines and so on, then it could become a possibility. Maybe in 6 months' time, it's something I can look at doing. It would certainly be quite amazing.
We haven't done Foucault's pendulum.
There's another thought. Yeah. I saw that one, rewatched that one recently with those guys who did it themselves. Was it in a block of flats or something, in a lift shaft? I don't know. And they had it drawing the line below the swing, and then they calculated their position on the Earth. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it's brilliant stuff. But of course, it has been done. It'd be nice to do something that other people haven't done, or something that's spectacular. I felt that Mage, when I first thought of that, I thought, brilliant. Yeah, people have done balloon flights, but no one's done a balloon flight in order to show or try and show the shape of the Earth. But when I announced that, there was massive support and interest in it, and it's been a good story. Starting off ranty. Is that Ranty? Is that real Ranty? Thank you.
Might be
Ranty. On open and honest invite. Would you like to step in? You will be warmly welcomed. You can see my Discord link is in the description. Just obviously headphones and a mic. You just jump into my Discord into Mr. Sensible's live waiting room, and then I'll drag you into the live stream. So if you want to come in, I appreciate the comments, Ranty. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Bite.
No, definitely not. Yeah, that's nice thought, Ranty. So that's now two of you specifically, yourself and Gary Wybenga from the dark side, who have made wishes like that, and they're very much appreciated. So I'm keeping an eye out just in case, unless you can put in the chat. If you don't want to come in, that's fine. Just let us know, actually.
Even if just briefly, that's fine too.
I got to read this message from Christopher Bell. Just make sure your idea involves Arnold and cheese.
Of course.
That's a good point. That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
One of them definitely couldn't involve Arnold, and probably both of them couldn't.
Well,
yeah.
Not literally Arnold, I think.
Actually, Ranty, I need to give you props for another thing as well. When you called out Sleeping Warrior about his despicable behaviour with conspiracy cats, I did comment. Oh, you're in bed right now. That's cool. No worries. Oh, okay. You stay there. We don't want to see you in chat. but yeah, Ranty, you called out Sleeping Warrior. Massive thanks and a big thumbs up for that. Absolutely the right thing to do. It was despicable of him. Yeah. So actually, Ranty, perhaps you can comment with regard. I would. Okay, first of all, I would like to invite you to come on a live stream, just me and you, to talk about Mage, not to have a slanging match or call anyone an idiot, but to actually have a proper, nice, civilized discussion about Mage when you're not in bed. Okay, so perhaps you can please contact me. I believe my email address is it should be in there. Yes, it is. Email Mr. Sensible Mr-Sensible@hotmail.com. Let's hook up. Let's arrange something, because I know you did some debunk on Mage. I'll have to say you're absolutely wrong. Not because you tried to debunk me. I want that. But, well, I'd like to chat about it. Because if you have constructive criticism that I could look to address in a Mage 3, I would try and address it in a Mage 3. Okay. Sorry, second best Bob says Ranty, the best Glober ever. Send me an invite next time and I'll jump on. Okay, thank you, Ranty. Except I haven't got your email address. If you can either DM me or just drop me an email. Your email address, as far as I'm concerned, is 100% confidential. Just drop me an email so that I can do so. And yeah, I'll gladly do so. And I'll let you know when I think I'm going to go live again. I would like that. Thank you. Cool. That would be good. That'd be good. Hey, Ranty, you're fast becoming the most popular flat earther, you know.
This is Glass Monster talking. I wouldn't mind having a light chat with you too sometime. Contact me if you wish. Glass Monster.
Well, there you go. But I'll look forward to just an email from you, Ranty. Just say, here's my email address, and then I'll get in touch, and hopefully we can sort something out that's suitable for both of us. That would be good. Your email is on all the streams. Is it? Okay, cool. I didn't realise. I will have a look out for that, and I will email you then. Thanks, mate. Excellent. And I hope you're well.
Yes. Thanks for listening, Ranty.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got it listed on his channels. That's cool. That's cool. I will do that. Because I've never spoken directly with Ranty. Ranty is... Obviously, we disagree, and that's fine. But Ranty is one of those people who I feel you can have a civilised conversation with. I did feel that about Sleeping Warrior. But he had all that stuff with a hate speech, and then he went way beyond that with the stuff with conspiracy cats. So as far as I'm concerned...
Oh.
Yeah. Ranty, thank you very much, sir.
Sweet Ranty.
That is so incredibly kind. A super chat, a very kind super chat from Mr. Ranty Flat Earth for 15 sterling pounds. Get a bottle of rosé for your mum. Thank you, Ranty. I honestly am really touched. thoroughly appreciate that. That's make me fill up. Cheers. Thank you.
That's sweet. That's very sweet.
Make sure that other people hear about that. So yeah, we're going to disagree, but good bloke. Thank you. Oh, come on, someone talk about something else before I fill up. Oh.
I've discovered that here in Canada, if I go to an area where there isn't many houses, I can actually drop a glider.
Oh, from a balloon.
Yep, it just takes
I
a
was thinking
lot of paperwork for it to be something that doesn't have a chute.
I see. For those who don't know, as most people won't, here in the UK, you're not allowed to drop objects. Your payload that goes up with a balloon must come down with a parachute. Other countries, your mileage may differ, including your country, wherever it is, Glass.
Yeah, I think there's like FAA rules over here.
But it's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I just see Martin H says, now can we get back to slagging Ranty off? Not tonight, okay? Not tonight.
No.
Oh. Oh, man. Yeah, so you're going to do something with the glider then, Glass?
That's the plan.
So will the glider have a camera on it?
He's going to be right in the nose cone.
Right in the nose cone.
Oh.
Okay. So is this for any particular reason? Are you trying to show something? Are you just doing it because it's there?
Glass Mage 3.
Mage is copyright. You can't call it Mage.
I can call it Glass Mage.
He's gonna cry.
No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hire Sleeping Warrior to sue your ass. There's a big flaw in that plan, though.
That won't go well.
No. Okay, I'm going to hire Sleeping Warrior to defend you while I sue your ass.
That's even worse. That's even worse.
I don't think that's how that works.
He'd be asleep too much.
Or pee.
This is an egg.
One or the other.
No, this is a water bottle. Do not drink it. Unless you want warrior drinks.
So we've had people going back to Mage rather than these other speculative ideas, as I said, one of which is way out there, the other which is a possibility perhaps in 6-8 months' time, something like that. Yes, trademark. Thank you, Robert. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We've had suggestion of things to steady a payload if there was a Mage 3. Any other thoughts? Is there something that I should try and prove or look to gather evidence for? Or should I do Mage 3 just in some way just trying to improve on Mage 2? People, let us know.
But you can't really improve on Mage 2. Everything you did was great.
Well, I don't know, Mark. I mean, you said about doing stuff about the distortion of the camera.
Yeah, at the very beginning before you launch it.
And it was mentioned about some checkerboard pattern which could have been shown. That's true.
True.
Although I don't know what differences I could make about the actual flight, the actual evidence we're gathering. We gathered temperature, we gathered air pressure, we had 3 cameras, we visually saw the effect of the lower atmospheric pressure causing the balloon to expand and expand. Right. I still read was it today or yesterday on a comment on a Nathan Oakley stream from someone basically saying that you can't even have an atmospheric gradient. You can't have a pressure gradient without a container. And I just put Mage. Boom.
Mage. Yeah. And I did a balloon experiment in February, which was a very preliminary, but same thing. The balloon filled up the higher I got.
Yeah. Well, they did. This guy. It was. What's his name? Demonic. God, I can't. It's not Shields versus Shields. It's another one. I can't remember his name now. He did have a comeback to that though. At best, you've debunked the radius of the Earth. That's cherry-picked. Cherry-picked. What's the word? Misquote by Nathan Oakley. Well, actually, it was by Mitch originally, but Nathan has really twisted it. That's the best response I got. Yeah.
Right.
Mr. S is on Elon's radar.
Yeah.
I saw today that Elon Musk has now been announced as the world's second richest man. He has overtaken Bill Gates.
I heard fourth.
Well, it said second at 128 billion pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
That's more than some countries' budget.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's
Sorry,
absolutely. I mean, it's even stretching Mrs. S's clothing allowance. I tell you. Better lens and two more strings.
Except for shooting people to Mars, what do you do with that much money?
Well, I was talking about that with Mrs. S. One thing I wouldn't do is be looking to work. I'd be looking to have a holiday for the rest of my life and do whatever the hell I want. I'll have a Rolls Royce today, a Ferrari tomorrow, and after I've driven it, give it away to someone. I mean, you could do that and still be actually getting richer purely because of the amount of money you got sat in the bank. It's just incredible. Yeah. Demon Orv must ask Elon for a few quid.
Hey, what would you do, Mr. Sensible, if you had 1% of that money?
Well, I wouldn't do what Mrs. S would do. No, seriously, we've talked about this before. You get the lottery. I said, what would you do if you won 150 million quid on the lottery? She said, I'd give 5 million to each of the family members. I'd give so much to and before you know it, she spent it all. I said, look, you don't give it away. You invest it and then give away some of the income. And over the years, you'll end up giving away an awful lot more. If you just give it away, there's no point in having it in the first place.
Right.
Well, that's my feeling. I definitely look to buy a private island somewhere. Definitely.
There you go.
If I had that much money, I'd probably have the world's largest Lego collection.
Okay.
Wow. You can buy Legoland.
I
Buy
like.
Legoland, yes.
Just buy Legoland with that money. Just saying.
It's to my taste, yeah. I would
just purchase Lego. Period. I just buy the
purchase
company.
Lego. There you go. Purchase the company.
The company.
You get all the free Legos you want.
It's a family-owned company. You may have to marry into the company.
Oh.
Well, generally shady super chat $5 Australian, Pepsi and fishing lures.
Be a lot of fishing lures.
Yeah, but if that's what you want to do, you could spend your life fishing, couldn't you? Mighty One says George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney, gave most of it away to schools in California, apparently. Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I would get. That people talk about. I've seen the most idiotic thing written about Bill Gates saying all this stuff about the vaccine. He's doing it. He just wants to make money. Well, no. He was the world's richest man until Bezos overtook him. He has given away hundreds of billions, I believe, over the years. Yes. So if he really wanted to remain as rich as that, he wouldn't have given it all away or so much away. Mage 3, get a ride share on Falcon 9 or Electron, maybe a bit pricey. Maybe I will. Maybe I should email Elon and ask him how much to have an item taken up and returned. I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
They could probably find one of the little side boosters, when they come down, or the main booster when it comes down.
Oh no, it's got to go up into orbit. If you're going to do it right.
Well, that's true. It'd have to go like on a Dragon Crew or one of those.
I could send this up, couldn't I?
The cheese.
The cheese award.
Oh God.
Actually, if I tell you what, if I had that sort of level of money, yes, I would actually pay. I'd pay for a trip to the ISS. I would. That's one thing I would do.
With a cheese award.
With or without the cheese award. Hell, I'd love to do it.
It will be uninhabitable.
I'm absolutely curious how they're going to treat, flat earthers are going to treat I don't know if it's still going on, but they shoot that movie on the ISS, Tom Cruise.
Well, they don't believe any of it anyway, do they? They think it's
True.
all...
It's made in a studio.
Yeah. TP Seeker says about CubeSats.
That's what they will say.
Isn't that
TP
the
Seeker.
shooting a movie on the actual ISS?
TP Seeker, yeah, CubeSats. I mean, you're still talking several £1,000s, but yeah, I did look into it. I think you need to have a genuine experiment, though.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I tell you what, I would pay for a flight up to the ISS. I would set up a telephone link to Nathan Oakley, and I would say, I can see your house from up here. Hello, Tony Regine.
It's like, wave, I see you, wave. Oh. Now, speaking of that, I've been watching a series on Netflix, and I forget what it's called, but it has what's her name, Hilary Swank in it, and it's about people going to Mars. To do a colony.
Yes.
And I forget what it's called. It's a one word show, but I can't remember the name of it now.
I did see a few episodes of one. I was enjoying it at first, but they seemed to spend more time, on all the relationships, this person bickering with that person, rather than on the adventure and the science.
Away. Thank you, Brainery. It's called Away.
It might have been that I saw. Yeah,
and
I'm not 100% sure.
In that, what puzzled me was Hilary Swank, who's the captain of all of this, the head of all this, is using her cell phone to call home.
Was this the one where?
Is that plausible?
Where right in the first episode they had a fire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I watched about 3, maybe 4 episodes, and then it annoyed me too much.
But that part bothered me because here they are. They're going away from Earth, and she's using her cell phone like they're talking. They're talking like they're next to each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, does that really? I don't think that works that way in space.
Well,
yeah.
The mighty one says, if I had Elon Musk money, I'd build a life-size Galaxy-class starship and explore the galaxy.
Ooh.
Do you know what? If I was as rich as Elon Musk, I would be even richer than Elon Musk because I'd do a bit of window cleaning on the side. Yeah.
Oh, sensible. My apologies, my friend.
Hello, Mitch. How are you?
I am superb, and I'm so glad you're speaking about Elon Musk, one of my favorite subjects to discuss, because he's indirectly involved with the Hyperloop fiasco.
Oh, man.
Which is one of the most disturbing pseudoscientific pyramid schemes in the history of humanity.
Mitch, hold that thought. I would very, very much like to discuss that, but literally just before we do, I would like to read out a super chat from Second Best Bob for £5.
Oh, yeah.
Have this £5. It's more than Musk will give you. Yeah.
You'll get Musk out of Musk before you get £5 out of it.
Hyperloop. What a load of rubbish that is.
Oh my God! And they just made an announcement, and one of my other, there's a few channels. I'm not, pitching here, but there's some other channels. Thunderfoot
just did a video on it again.
Yes,
did you see that, GM?
Oh, heaven's sakes, I did.
Yeah.
I just about broke my oven mitts.
Building vacuum tunnels in the hilly parts of West Virginia.
Yeah. I've got to invest in some new carbon fiber reinforced oven mitts to withstand all the face palming.
The mighty one, and anyone who doesn't know, Hyperloop. Well, the idea is you have a tube with a very, very low air pressure, or an almost vacuum, or a weak vacuum, and you basically have a magnetically levitated train that goes within it. And because there's no drag, it can go very, very fast. They keep going on about Elon Musk inventing it. He didn't. It was thought of, I don't know, it might have been 100 years ago, certainly a long time ago. But the one thing that keeps getting me is, let's say you've built this huge tube, you have evacuated the atmosphere from it,
Yeah.
you'd have to have some sort. You'd have to get into a pressurized train and then have some sort of airlock to get the train into it. Now, if you whiz that train along at 1,000 miles an hour, whatever they're talking about, you're going to want another train following behind. When your first train gets to its destination, it's got to obviously come to a stop, but it's got to get into an area where you can airlock people out of it. And it's all got to happen before the next train comes smashing into it.
Right.
That's leaving aside the fact that you've got to build this container, you've got to be able to maintain the vacuum, and if there's any failure, that thing's going to crush like a Coke can.
Right.
It's scary.
You first.
Yes. Did you see a long time ago, Thunderfoot actually visited the test track? And
in Vegas.
Yeah,
Las Vegas.
it was rubbish. It was rusting. The mountings were missing. I don't know where they're coming from. And his
it's gone.
Musk's idea of having all these tunnels everywhere under cities with it, and then lifting cars up with. It's ridiculous.
Well, this is the premise, and I'll summarize the interesting parts because Thunderfoot can tend to be a bit long-winded at times. So
he's a nice guy, but I agree.
He's a hell of a nice. He is a bright guy, but I'll summarize. But basically, let's say that you had a super performing car that does 0 to 60 miles an hour or 100 kilometers per hour in 3 seconds. Which is how fast that you can get a production Tesla that will do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3 seconds. That's fast. Okay?
Yep.
So if you were to go at that speed and you wanted to get up to the target speed of the Hyperloop, which is 900 kilometers an hour, it would take you 10 kilometers just to get up to speed. The test track that they're proposing in West Virginia is 10 kilometers long. So you would have to get up only to maybe, let's just say for argument's sake, half speed, and then slow down before you come to a very abrupt end at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
I'm interested to know, for example, how does it stop?
I don't know, but they did the short. It's only a 1 kilometre test track, so it was just a proof of concept, and I presume that they can improve the acceleration, improve the braking, or whatever. But I still don't understand. You get to the other end, that entire train has then got to be shunted off through an airlock to somewhere that you can pressurise to get people out, and that's got to happen before the next train hits the back of it.
Right, now think about the energy or the power that it would take to maintain and break a vacuum at the same time on, say, a 100 kilometer long tube. Now, in order for this thing to be a vacuum, you're going to need, for every kilometer of tunnel, you're going to need 400 vacuum pumps to pull the air. Yeah, you getting this? So my advice to you guys is invest in companies that make vacuum pumps.
There you go.
And now also, so here you have all these vacuum pumps that are pumping the air out of something, and what an airlock does is it breaks the vacuum. That's the only way it can function. You have to put another barrier in front of the barrier and break the vacuum. Can you imagine the amount of energy that it would take to break that vacuum?
Yeah.
And then just and then think about what's the force of the air that would come into that vacuum if you broke it. The atmospheric pressure would crush anything inside that tube when it was open. Now,
well, just before you go on, Mitch, I mean, you're absolutely right on all that. But let's say you've built your track from Los Angeles to wherever, and it's, I don't know, let's say 500 miles long, and you've got all your pumps, and you've got it pressured down, and how can you guard, and yes, I use that word guard deliberately, the entire length of the track? You think one very low-level explosive... It's a nightmare. One low-level explosive.
Yeah, logistically.
Yeah.
One idiot with a rifle.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
and now you got to remember,
simply a high-powered rifle with some kind of a proper shells in it.
Dude, where are you going to put this tube?
You're not going to dig
From
all.
one city to another.
California, Mr. Sensible?
Yeah, digging it's going to take forever, first of all.
Yeah, right.
Well,
they keep thinking of all these clever places to put these tubes.
But
meanwhile,
he's not stupid.
you're right.
He's
The
not.
security would have to be
Crazy.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but you know what that means? You'd have tunneling companies. What does Elon Musk own? The boring company that digs tunnels. He's going to be creaming money off both ends. Well,
Hey, they could always get the penguins off the ice ring.
well, yeah. Penguin's good at tunneling then.
The
So now think about it. So you're flying, you're in your little Hyperloop thing. You're whizzing allegedly from LA to San Francisco up some allegedly place that there are people living all along that corridor. I don't know what we're going to do with them. But let's presume that this whole thing is built and we're flying along at 600 miles an hour, and all of a sudden there's a vacuum failure of some kind. Let's just say a kilometer in front of us. Well, if we're going 600 kilometers an hour, we're going to cover that 1 kilometer pretty quickly.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, it's going to be like a champagne cork. All of a sudden, we're going to have all the air that's rushing in behind us in the big hole in the tunnel will be propelling us quite quickly, I might add, towards our eventual destination. So hopefully we'll have time to use the brakes, which have not been explained adequately, certainly not scientifically adequately to me I still consider myself a scientist, although not with a capital S. How are you going to stop it? How are you going to plug that leak? How are you going to keep the air pressure from coming in and crushing whatever stands for your little bus that rides up and down this thing flat? And the answer is you really can't. The whole thing is a farce.
It is a farce.
Thing, right? You can achieve the same exact thing with the maglev trains that they have in Asia. They have impeccable safety records. Of course, they get shot if they have an accident, but that's another story.
But yeah, stuff like that.
Records, and they go 400 to 500 kilometers an hour.
I know there is no advantage. There is no advantage to this Hyperloop. And of course, what you could do is install gigabit internet to everyone's home. That would be a lot cheaper. And then how many of those journeys need to be made anyway? And if you're going to... I mean, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I cannot understand... Well, I cannot understand how businesses, investors and governments are falling for it. But you know what else it's like? It's like the whole solar roadways junk.
You want an approximate amount of force that would be behind that air pushing the car along forward if there was pressurization behind the car? You know what the amount of force there would be that the brakes would need in order to stop against that?
Oh my God.
Well in excess of 100 tons.
Yeah.
Well, Robert Williams has just super chatted $2 US. Thank you, Robert, saying LA to San Francisco, the most seismically stable area. Absolutely, because that's the other thing.
Point.
If you leave aside,
take it out of rubber, and that'll solve all those problems.
well, if you leave aside all the issues about accelerating, braking, the danger of people being in an evacuated tube, the risk of someone attacking it in some way, various threats. You leave all that aside, a length of pipe will expand and contract with the temperature. Railway line rails, I don't know how long an individual rail is, but there are gaps between the rails to allow for expansion. How the hell are you going to do that in one long rigid pipe? It's going to buckle.
Yeah, it's
There
not
is
going to
such
be
thing as
pretty.
expansion joints, but that would be a mechanical seal.
Expansion joints in a vacuum tube? I mean, I'm sure it's possible. I'm sure it's possible.
It's doable, but it'd be insanely complex,
Yeah.
insanely expensive, and insanely impractical. But it is actually theoretically possible to be done that way.
Well, at that point, it would just be cheaper to invest in more efficient airplanes, airplanes with different propulsion than gas, and you would go on faster and a lot safer.
But I mean, over here in the UK, we got this whole thing with high-speed rail. Do we really need it? I've got absolutely nothing about, no problem with investing in rail, or even conventional high speed, up to 125, 150 mile an hour. But the high speed stuff they're talking about, they're pushing for HS2 to be the fastest high speed rail in the world, and yet we have not got those huge distances like they've got in, say, Australia, China, or America. It's just nuts. And of course, the faster you go, the more energy you need to propel them, the more expense in order to be able to provide the track. Because it's so fast, it has to go straighter. Therefore, it can't avoid areas of scientific interest, beauty spots, towns and villages. There are villages that have been split in two because the train can't turn fast enough. They're building all this, and it's originally, I think it was £38 billion they predicted from London to Birmingham. Last I've seen, it's close on 80 billion, and it doesn't even go into central London. It doesn't connect directly to the airport, and it doesn't connect to HS1. It's absolutely bonkers. And do we need to, and all these companies now, we get COVID come along, and so many companies are now saying, do you know what, after this, quite a few of our staff can just work from home. It's just nuts. I'm not against technology or development, but develop the technology where it's useful, where it makes sense. But yeah, the whole solar roadways thing, which Thunderfoot's also addressed, absolutely mad.
You know that they're actually now somewhere in the States trying to lobby to have a work-at-home tax.
How do you mean? To make people work at home, or what?
No.
To keep
they
people
charge them a tax for working at home.
For what reason?
The 40, 50, because you're not working at a big, fancy, expensive office building, which, so that office building is no longer getting an income from you working there. Because the big companies decide they can work at home, they don't need to rent that office.
Yeah.
So now cities are trying to levy a work-at-home tax to try to make it less appealing to work at home.
Well, I mean, that sounds crazy to me. I would have.
The fuck?
You could bounce against that. The energy savings, as in the green costs of travel are being saved. It's more efficient. You could work longer hours and still have a shorter day if you don't have to commute.
Yep.
Crazy.
But the outfits that own the buildings and stuff are going to probably end up going bankrupt because nobody's needing to use those offices.
Oh, sure. I'm sure they're not
Because all
happy.
these call centers are realizing, wait a minute, we can just give Job Dub Bobo the most expensive brand computer on the planet. It'd still be cheaper than bringing them to work every day.
Mm. I mean, we're talking mid-80s. I was working in an office right in central London, just off Oxford Street, which is an insane place for this particular business to exist, because they could literally exist anywhere around the country. They just wanted to be in that central location. And we worked out, this was about 1986, the floor space cost of a waste paper basket was £1,000 a year because of the rental. It's absolutely mad.
It wasn't even one of those fancy ones from Harrods either.
No, it was just a round bin.
Gold plated,
Oh, Cambridge Mart. If I want assistance with lasers, you may be able to help. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I do, I will look into that. As I said, it's not something I just want to do unless there's point to it. I could get the laser, do it. Yeah. If no one's going to believe me, because there's not going to be anything to show on video. It would be nice if I was going to do something like that to have a flat earther there. But I appreciate the offer, so keep an eye out just in case I do go down that way.
Hey, we would know how to completely finish Nathan Thompson's connections with flat earthers. Get him to witness it taking place and acknowledge that it actually was done.
He wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it.
Acknowledge that the beam actually hit the moon and come back.
He wouldn't do it if you paid the flight and the accommodation and the food. He wouldn't do it.
still wouldn't do it.
See, he knows he's wrong. It's not like he doesn't know he's wrong. It's his idiot
he's
followers that don't know that he knows he's wrong.
You know, it's
Yeah,
funny.
but
If he got his own duck suit, then maybe.
Yeah, that's the program I was about to say. Yeah, that program there did it. They flew him into a place and, filled him full of smoke.
I was going to say what's funny with that prank is if you look on the Guinness World Record website, nothing's on there about it. So if it were a true Guinness World Record, it would be on their website
Correct.
as news, and it's not.
Of course not.
Dr. Osiris, I'm not sure which video. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I'm sorry, I don't recall it at all. Perhaps you can email me again. My apologies. I may well have done, but as you can understand, I've had a lot on my mind, and I just don't know. Someone said, sorry, who was it? Mark Tin said, going back to rail, in most places they've got continuously welded rail, no expansion gaps, just strong rail fixings. Now I know that I've been on the Channel Tunnel, absolutely amazing. Now that was worth building. It's very expensive, but it's worth building, and that uses continuous rail, and it is so incredibly smooth. If you don't look out the window, you can't tell that you're moving, which incidentally is quite interesting when you think of all these flat earthers who say, if the earth was spinning, you'd feel it. No, there's actual acceleration there, but it's so smooth and gentle, it's hard to see.
You're moving 30,000 miles an hour?
Being in a tunnel, too, would actually help with the expansion thing.
Yes, of course, because you've not got the sun and whatever. Right. So yes, I know that continuous rail is a thing, but I also can remember when I was a kid going across Europe, so it was a long time ago, that you get rail lines buckling because even with the expansion joints, they'd expanded so much in the heat, the rail ends touched and then buckled. So I don't quite know what the solution is, but I guess there is one. Yeah.
It's a complicated problem. It's one you don't experience on a 1 kilometer tunnel.
No, that's within a tube.
Of linear expansion, you really only see it after a good few kilometers, and you really see it.
But then with rail, you could put an expansion joint in or whatever, a gap. How would you do that with a pipe? They have to do it with things like oil pipes and so on. But what they do is they change the direction.
Right.
So you've got some movement, and I just don't see how you could have that in an evacuated tube. Maybe.
Right.
But then again, they don't have airlocks and things on oil pipes. They just have a hole in both ends.
That's true. Yeah.
And also, I'm waiting to hear confirmation, but the rumor mill is churning over in. And they're saying basically that the whole Hyperloop test that they did in Nevada, that it was not a magnetic suspended car. But they went through great lengths not to show the inside of the tube and not to show the outside of the car. Because although they're claiming that it's going to be a maglev suspended in vacuum, that is not what was experienced. What was experienced was a small kilometer-long monorail that reached the top speed of what I think it was 80 or 100 miles an hour.
I actually wouldn't hold that again unless they were trying to mislead. I wouldn't hold that against them. It's just a test. You think of all the various tests they did for things like Apollo. If it's just a test to show, look, we have transported 2 people from one end to another in an evacuated tube, then they did that. Does it matter that it was slow? Does it matter if it was...
It's a sort of omission in the sense that they didn't clarify, that they didn't mention that the train that they were testing did not use the same propulsion system. The tube was not in a vacuum.
Oh, wasn't it? I thought that was the point of it.
All right. So the whole thing is, how much more money are people going to pour into this? United States right now, we have literally the worst public transportation of any civilized nation. We have the worst healthcare. I'm not trying to get political. I'm just saying we need science bad We need to use science and engineering to solve these problems of getting people around our country safely. And we have really failed to do it. Airplanes can't be the answer to everything. They're horrendously inefficient. They dump huge amounts of carbon dioxide and water into the atmosphere. They consume tremendous amounts of fossil fuel. The biggest consumer of fossil fuels, I might add, is the airline industry. So that can't be the answer. Yet we've kind of allowed ourselves the answer. And that's why I love going over to Europe, because I know that when I go to Europe, I'll be able to get to any place I need to get to. And I might have to stop and switch over to another train or another bus. But I know I can get from any given point A to any given point B. That is not the case in my own, allegedly awesome country. And it's really disappointing that we have this kind of stigma against science. That the last time that happened, we called it the Dark Ages.
I suspect that the biggest problem that they're having against science is actually the religious, because the more science, the more it pushes back, I would say, their imaginary sky daddy is pushed back as science gets, more and more precise. It literally pushes their sky daddy back.
That was something I was thinking about earlier, Glass, because I'm not sure it was on a video or a comment, but them sort of saying about your heliocentric model, whatever. That doesn't matter. Whether the Earth is flat or a globe has nothing to do with heliocentrism, which is where they thought that. You had what's the word? That they originally had Earth as the centre of the universe, and then the Sun as the centre of the universe.
Yeah.
Yes. That's thank you. That's got nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
No, it doesn't.
But they don't even know what they're trying to debunk. PhD Tony says the state.
It doesn't take much effort. It takes just hitting Google to see depictions of globes that predate Christ.
Right.
So much for that.
Yeah. Mitch,
certainly mariners knew it.
Mitch, PhD Tony says, because I haven't got the figures to hand, says that air travel covers 3% of transport CO2 emissions. But then, is that freight or is that passenger?
That's not what I said fossil fuel consumption. I didn't say transport emissions. I must admit, even I will admit, that they are fanatically good about emissions. They consume tremendous amounts of fossil fuel that every gallon is subsidized by the American taxpayer in the United States. If it were not, then it would cost $400 to fly from New York to Paris.
When you say subsidized, it's because aviation fuel is tax-free worldwide, isn't it? Because otherwise you've got issues with different countries putting on different amounts of tax. So it's tax-free worldwide. So I'm not sure if it's actually subsidised. Well, it's subsidised in that it's not taxed. It's not the true cost.
It's subsidizing that. It's subsidized. It's not taxed, and there's actual taxpayer money that is set aside that is given in the form of tax breaks to the petroleum companies as a compensation for the processing cost of airline fuel. The storage cost of airline fuel is very high. It's not. You can't just put that stuff in a can. It's extremely volatile stuff. It's really kerosene.
Kerosene plus.
Kerosene plus. Yeah. Very pure kerosene.
Sorry, but airplanes run on compressed air.
Oh yeah, well I forgot that.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
That there's no such thing as kerosene.
I mean, where would you put it? In the wings?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
The pilots drink it.
Oh man.
The wings are flat. That's why it's called an airplane.
And I'm going to correct myself because
airplane wings would debunk the flat Earth too, because they've got a curve.
That's right. They do have a curve. You're right.
Those people are going crazy. I'm going to correct myself. Passenger cars and freight vehicles, land vehicles, represent 49% of global consumption. Of the remaining 51%, the aviation industry is the highest consumer.
Okay.
So 49% are passenger cars, freight vehicles, trucks. Of the remaining, 7.8 is the aviation industry. The maritime shipping, which is another word for saying all the fuel that's used in all the boats, is about 6.7%. So there's more fossil fuel is used in the aviation industry than the entire maritime industry
combined.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Sorry, I'm just.
That's fine.
So someone had said that I'd taken down Flat Earth. Now I'm taking down Elon Musk, and I said Musk is going down. And someone's said, "Why is he going down? You want to end SpaceX and Tesla? No, Hyperloop. SpaceX is good to go. I'll let him have SpaceX."
I know. Here where I live in California, they've been working on a high-speed rail train that goes up and down the state. But every time I hear how much it costs, it's like doubles or triples or quadruples, and it's just a big money pit.
It's the same.
I'm sorry, but Berlin Airport, hold my beer. Yeah.
Oh, is that humongous airport that was built and is not used?
No. It was built. It was built, and I don't know the exact figures because I lost track of it. But it was scheduled to open. I don't know when. But then they delayed because they basically built the whole thing wrong.
Oh, God.
And then the costs just kept piling on. The fire extinguishers weren't working.
Yes.
They activated all the screens where flight departure and arrival times would go, but there were no planes and the screens were active. So they, after 3 or 4 years of screens just displaying a white grid with nothing on it, they had to throw all the screens out and buy new ones, and it was just a big clusterfuck. And now it's finally open and no one flies because of COVID.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Berlin Brandenburg.
Yeah.
So funny.
Sorry, that's
Wow.
No, I had heard something about that. Yeah, it's been going on for a long time, hasn't it? I mean, with the HS2, the problem is not just that they're going fast, but they want to really push the envelope. The wear and tear goes up as well. The cost, it goes up logarithmically. It's scary. And I mean, they were at one time talking about having a train every 2 minutes. There aren't that many people that need to travel.
2 minutes?
Yeah, I know. It's absolutely crazy. And that's just London, well, the edge of London to Birmingham. And the arguments have been used over the years to say it will take people off the roads, but then the cost will be too high. If they're on there, the businessmen will be able to work, and then they worked out the figures of the amount of time people are likely to actually do work while they're travelling, and that didn't pay for it. They then said it's greener until it was pointed out the costs, the green costs of the actual energy to move the trains and all the construction, all the concrete. So that didn't make sense, and it's gone up and up and up. It really, really looks like someone somewhere is getting a massive backhander, and I can only imagine in 20, 30 years' time, once it's all completed, and barely anyone's using it, they'll say, "Oh, wow, something went wrong there. We'll learn from that mistake. It won't happen again." But they've trashed the countryside. I'm not a million miles away, and I have seen some of the preparations they're doing. Huge swathes, I'm not kidding, huge swathes of countryside are basically being bulldozed, hedgerows ripped out, trees cut down, because you think, it's a rail line, it won't take up much space. They're talking about 100-metre width. 100-metre width.
Wow.
Because you can't have trees and things like that too close to it because of the speed. It's horrendous.
Jeez.
David Oliver, £5 says, "What's my thoughts on actual commercial viable superconducting rail transport?" I don't know much about it, although I did read something about some superconductors, room temperature superconductors recently. Has anyone heard about that?
Yeah, I've heard.
No,
I've heard it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Don't know much about it.
I mean, I'm not against improving transport, of course not, but I don't know. You need to invest the money in the right place, a place where there's going to be proper payback.
Yeah. It's like, they'll be better for the climate all around, but you're screwing with the earth to build them. So taking out trees and really better.
I mean, high-speed rail. Yeah. High-speed rail sounds fantastic.
It does
in the right place. I mean, China churns it out, and we've seen videos of how stable the trains are. With the coins stood on edge and stuff like that. Absolutely amazing. Right. But then they've got some vast distances to travel. Here we haven't. Right.
Mainland Europe, you could go.
You all, yeah.
Yes. But what you wouldn't be doing is stopping every other city. You go from point A,
definitely not.
Point A to point Z, and miss out all the ones in between. Because if you keep slowing down, you defeated the purpose of it. They've also said things like it will take traffic off of the other rail routes. But if you're talking about one main route, everyone's going to have to travel to get to it. It doesn't serve. It will serve each end, and all that's going to happen is you're going to drag commuters from Birmingham down to London, because that becomes viable as a commute. So you're just going to drag more business to London rather than, I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I see people are talking about God in the side chat. We know there's a creator because there is time, infinite regression or finite regression. Memory not great. Today would never have come if time was infinite. Time is an illusion. Lunchtime doubly so. Mr. Adams would agree with that.
Vacation time too. Look how fast that goes when you're on vacation.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's conversing with PhD Tony. It looks like, and everybody else.
Tony Regime says concrete is very green building material. It absorbs a lot of CO2 during the curing process. My understanding was it uses masses to produce it. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and happy to be corrected, Tony. The advantage with something like concrete, of course, is once it's made, it's there for a very long time. Oh.
That's true. Yeah. But I'm not. I'm all for trains because that would help. But you got to make it viable and feasible for everybody. Like you said, you don't want everybody to have to go to one main hub.
Yeah.
Just to go anywhere, Yeah. And that defeats the purpose of it. And you don't want it to stop at every little, like the buses here stop at every little town. It takes forever just to go 2 hours or something.
Yes.
Or a town away, whatever. Or 2 hours away, it takes forever because you're stopping at every little spot along the way. So you don't want that either. So, I mean,
a place like the States where there is a lot of land and big distances between major cities, it would make more sense there. I'm definitely not against it in principle, but it's absolutely wrong for the UK.
Right. Because you guys aren't. Yeah.
But it's not that big a place.
Exactly.
The mighty one, HS2.
South in the UK, you just got to coast.
HS2, it goes from near the edge or from the outskirts of London, but not Heathrow Airport. It does not connect to HS1, which goes to the Channel Tunnel and under and onto the continent, but it goes to Birmingham with nothing in between.
Right.
So that's it really. And then they're talking about HS3, which will go on up further north. And there's all these various cities saying, well, we want it to come here, we want it to stop here. But then it's defeated the purpose of it because it slows everything down. I forget the figures, but it was originally 32 or 38 billion. And off the top of my head, it was going to shave about 20 minutes off the trip. It's just mad.
That's not worth it.
Somebody needs to come up with transporters now.
Yes.
That would help a lot.
Actually, in a video I did today, I actually used one. That'll be out.
Sweet.
Yeah, I arrive by transporter.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll probably come
I've
out
done that in videos before.
about Friday or Saturday.
Sweet.
Sorry, Mr. Sensible. That was my brother called.
And how's your brother?
He's actually quite an interesting fellow. He and I are very, very much alike in some respects. He's a psychologist.
I thought you
Los
were going to say a psychotic for a second.
Probably that too, for all we know.
No, he's more of a he's interesting, but certainly not psychotic.
Good.
He was just calling to check in. Unfortunately, it looks like most of Hollywood is going to be shut down. They're going to be shutting production down
Oh yeah,
on
not
TV
surprised.
shows. So that's how he makes his living in the reality TV industry, and they're
Gotcha.
making them break production on a lot of their shows. So that's kind of bad.
That didn't surprise
Yeah.
me.
Well, it's because there's all these industries that kind of surround it. You know, there's the TV industry itself, and then there's the cable industry, and then there's the videotape industry, and the camera industry, and the school to teach the people to make the camera industry. You know, it's a huge number of people involved with production.
I presume you're talking because of COVID.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, now with what is it, 3 or 4 vaccines that are in the offing now, hopefully things will start to change and change soon. But then, of course, the next thing we're going to get is all the anti-vaxxers.
Oh, they're already big here.
Well, yeah, we got them here, but once they've got the vaccines and they start to offer vaccines, that's where you're going to start getting problems.
There's already been people saying they're going to force you to take it. You can't force people to take it. Sorry, you can't.
Yes, you can.
Well,
you damn well can.
You can, but there's people that can't take it. But yeah.
Well, that's different, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's part of why if you can take it, you should take it, because there's some people who can't, and they need the protection of other people being vaccinated.
Well, Texas has reported 16,000.
16,000 what?
17,638 new cases in Texas
today.
So far today, it's not quite the end. It's not quite midnight GMT is when these numbers roll over. So it's an absolute crisis here in America right now.
It is, and
people really don't understand how really terrible things are. There's as many in Texas today as in Italy, Germany, Iran, Ukraine, UK, Poland. So we have one state in America with as much as the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th highest nations. So that's pretty bad. Right now it's 151,000 new cases today, and 1,960 Americans died today.
Yeah.
So, we're fixated on 9/11. That's 2/3 of 9/11.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that Trump actually denied its existence.
Yeah, Mitch, that's really interesting, you using 9/11, because I thought of that before now, and thinking how many 9/11s it is a week. It's atrocious. And if that was an actual 9/11 attack happening, losing that many citizens on a weekly basis, people are going to sit up and take notice of that. So why aren't they of this? Well, I know many are, but it's just crazy. It's scary, isn't it?
It's mass insanity, Mr. Sensible. You can dance around it all you want. It's literally mass insanity.
Yeah.
People equate the ability to make themselves and others ill with freedom. People equate they don't understand anything about what freedom is.
Well, we got Sleeping Warrior here who is giving legal advice, apparently, saying that all this business of lockdowns and banning of protests and that is against your human rights.
No.
Although the human rights, is it Article 11 or whatever, even states that governments can override that for reasons of public health and safety.
Right.
Absolutely crazy. And
Well, for national, they could do it for public health and safety, or for national
security, yes, of course, yeah.
So they have plenty of avenues open. Wow, so that means that tomorrow, sometime during the day, we will have our 13 millionth identified case of COVID in the United States. For God's sake, people, stay home, wear your mask when you're out. If you have to go out, wash your freaking hands, stay disciplined, or we are freaking doomed.
Well,
We are doomed.
But most of them will say that it's not real. They just will not accept.
Well,
I have
Until they
seen
get-
people say that there is no such thing as viruses. You know what I'm saying? That viruses don't
Plural
exist.
of virus.
How stupid can you get? And that is not a
Somebody
challenge.
Somebody on the Discord server today, on Jim's server, Jim Pandas, was saying that it had something to do with the solar minimum. That's what caused like people to have heart issues and stuff.
Really, every 11 years?
How in the world can they
I
even think
do
that?
not. They said there's studies. We're like, okay.
oh,
How do you-
studies,
how-
does that mean
somebody with
YouTube
magnetic-
videos?
No, it was somebody on Jim Panda's server today was talking about it, and it was funny because I'm thinking, no, because it has something to do with the magnetics of the sun or something, and I'm like, are you kidding me, dude?
I mean, even if there are studies that say these things can be correlated, I've seen
Right.
just today a very funny graphic in Germany. There is not a causation or correlation, but it's funny. The average, sorry, Mr. Sensible, the average cheese consumption has gone up, and bedsheet related deaths as well.
I was on there, you were posting about
Approximately
all
same.
these different deaths.
So, no.
Well, of course,
Causation-
it's
that correlation is
that
not
famous graph correlating the number of pirates with global temperatures. As the number of pirates have gone down, global temperatures have gone up, and that's absolutely right.
True. And I was thinking people that say you get 10 people that wear glasses, 9 have heart attacks.
Wow.
Or say 10 people wear glasses, 1 person doesn't. But 10 people have heart attacks. Does that mean wearing glasses correlates to having a heart attack? Do you know what I mean? Same concept.
Well, as Gray says, viruses don't care about what you believe. And I would,
No, they don't.
these people who don't believe in these diseases, I would like to see one of them walk through a COVID ward without protection, or Ebola.
Yeah.
Like somehow that's any better or worse.
Right.
Multi Tom Tom, hello, good evening. You never emailed me to arrange that debate. Still, I've been waiting for close on a year for your undebunkable video. I did a video called Mage, which was Mission Above Globe Earth with my balloon, and I videoed the curve of the spinning basketball Earth. You are welcome, of course, to do a debunk video.
And Multi, we keep telling you we do not live on a spinning basketball.
Oh.
We live
You know what I
on
think would be fun?
Earth, and we're not in a complete vacuum. So you need to rethink your ideas there.
We should do a CGI version of the Mage flight. I think that would be funny.
10 to the negative 17 is pretty darn close to
Pretty damn close.
vacuum. But
But they think it's an actual perfect vacuum, and it's not.
now that's
know?
what, 10 to the negative 20?
Probably.
Well, I think
We have 3 marks to go.
well, no, a perfect vacuum would be 0, wouldn't it?
Right.
Well, 10 to the negative 20 at least. Before we get a little better.
Yeah. Get you closer. We'd get you closer.
Now, if you guys are raging in debate in the chat on YouTube, that means you're not listening to us. I just wanted to point that out. I also want to point out that some of you have not hit the like button. I know you're out there, and I know you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. And if you're not, well, you bloody well ought to be. And if you haven't clicked that little subscribe button, you ought to be ashamed even more so. and click that little bell so that you know when this insanity issues forth.
That was a public service announcement brought to you by the Mitch Party.
The Mitch. Yes, yeah, I got 2 likes out of it. Thanks, guys.
Oh dear.
Oh goodness.
Just remember now why they took the flat earther to the hospital.
Go on.
Why?
Because everything he said didn't make any sense.
Also remember that for every thumbs up, YouTube sends Mr. Sensible a check that he uses to purchase actual cheese.
That's right.
And if you don't like and subscribe, one of Osvaldo Greco's kittens becomes homeless, and that would be sad. We don't want that now, do we?
We don't want homeless kitties.
No.
That's not nice.
Blue Feather charges $1,000 per like and a cool million for a sub. Blue, the check is in the
Put it on
post,
our tab.
Yeah,
courtesy
yeah.
NASA. Oh,
Is that
multi!
US
Oh, whoa,
dollar?
whoa! Multi Tom Tom says Captain Sensible. No, it's Mr. Sensible. It says Captain Sensible just lied. Right, Tom Tom.
Really?
Oh, that you emailed me. Well, okay. I have not received an email, or it went into spam. I didn't lie, otherwise I'd have replied. Or did I reply to you? Tom Tom. Oh, you have. So that's what I'm saying. Or did I reply? Yeah, I wasn't trying to. I wasn't lying, Tom Tom. I may well have been mistaken, though. I do have rather a lot of emails coming backwards and forwards. In which case, my apology. It does ring a bell now. I can't remember where we are. So, will you reply, since you have my reply, so that we can arrange that chat? My apologies, Tom Tom. It does ring a bell now. I'm certainly not trying to lie to people, okay? I made an error. I can do that. I can make errors and I can admit to them.
That's right. Guess what? Mr. Sensible's human. Humans make errors.
Wow.
Shocked
I thought
to think
it was
of
a
that, but it does happen.
First off, Mr. Sensible is not a human. He's a YouTube influencer.
Oh, tell my daughter that. She hates that. I told her that when I reached 100 subs. Oh, you can't say that, Dad. I said, yeah, I'm a YouTube influencer. Yeah.
I thought you were an alien.
I thought
CGI.
influencer was a virus.
Direct virus.
Yeah, so Tom, please reply and let's sort out a date. Yes, because we were talking about having either a debate or just a one-on-one chat, weren't we? Yeah.
But
Drop me an email.
Tom doesn't do Discord.
That's right. He didn't do this. That's right. It's because it was about Zoom or something. Yeah, so 100% we did have an email, and 100% I made an error, Tom. Okay? I'll have a go at you, all sorts of things, but I won't lie to do that. Okay? So there you go. You can chalk that up, if you like, as a win, that Mr. Sensible made an error over that. I didn't lie. I don't lie. Okay? So I look forward to that. Because I really want that. Oh, General E. Shady just super chatted $5 Australia. Thank you, General. Saying, what's transparent and lays in the gutter? Tom after I kick the crap out of him.
All in good fun, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. I'm sure you're joshing.
Sort of.
Mage error. Tom, I would love to debate Mage with you or talk about Mage with you. Unless you want to watch Mage and do a video about it, because I understand that if you're chatting with someone, you can, anyone can make a mistake, misspeak. You know what I'm saying? Not make themselves clear, but if you do a video, you can cut and edit and make sure you are actually saying what you want to say. So do feel free, if you'd prefer, to do a Mage debunk video. Because that would be more than Nathan Blinkin Oakley will do. He's yellow. Nathan. Yeah, here is a direct challenge. And please, people, let Nathan know. Nathan Oakley, I am calling you out to do a mage debunk video or to come and debate me. You're welcome here on this channel or on a neutral channel, which I'm sure is fair on everyone. But I won't come on your channel because I won't get a fair hearing. So I perfectly well understand if you don't want to come on here, that's fine. But a neutral channel, so a neutral debate channel or a mage debunk video. I am calling you out, Nathan.
I offer to come on to my channel. That's neutral.
Well, there you go. I mean, we you know, channel, if Nathan is not happy with this channel or that channel, that's fine. We'll find a neutral channel that is agreeable to both of us. I'm totally reasonable.
Yep.
Well, I want to know why flat Earth theories are only true in certain conditions, like when people aren't questioning them. That's what I want to know.
Sorry, say again, Mitch.
Well, it seems that the flat earthness has truth to it, but only under certain very specific conditions. Like, it doesn't work somehow on Discord for some reason. It doesn't work in, we can't just have a discussion about it. It just consists of Tom making snarky comments and LOLs in the chat.
Right.
There's no intent on presenting any actual evidence because there is no evidence that the Earth is flat. So it's really almost a moot discussion.
But I'm not even asking Nathan to prove the Earth is flat. I'm asking him to address the evidence that I have presented, to debunk it, to say how I've misunderstood it, to say that I've cheated in some way. Anything.
Yeah, but
I put down evidence which shows one thing.
He has to.
I'm sorry?
He doesn't think he has to. That's the problem.
But if I just said, nuh-uh, it's a globe, then, yeah, he doesn't have to address that, but I've actually presented evidence. My evidence might be a load of crap. It may have been mistaken. I may have been dishonest. All sorts of things. Fine. Show me. And as it's been said, agree to disagree has been mentioned as a channel. Modern Day Debates has been mentioned as a channel. I'm fine with either of those. No. I'm sure there's other channels. Actually, I'll tell you one thing.
Well, Mr. Sensible, when you have the truth on your side, you're not afraid of where the debate occurs. See, this is
absolutely.
This is what I'm trying to articulate and having a bad time. Tom won't debate you because it's not the right time and place, because he knows that his ideas will come under scrutiny, and he won't allow, because they don't stand the merit of truth, he won't allow them to be discussed in a room of intelligent people. He's going to ask to speak to you privately, which I think would be a great idea, Tom. Why don't you email Mr. Sensible again and arrange a time where you two can speak on Skype or whatever is appropriate, and just have a bit of chat. And I'm sure Mr. Sensible would love to hear your objections to the Mage experiment, to not only the hypothesis, but also the conclusion of the experiment.
We see,
right.
Again, that's the same with Nathan Oakley. I mean, he has the gift of the gab. He can throw words out like crazy. So I don't really doubt that he is not scared to debate the actual concept of being online, debating someone. But I know that he's scared of what Mage shows. And if he wasn't, but had concerns over a debate being fair and equitable and so on, then he can do a video. Okay, because he can lovingly craft it, pull together his arguments without forgetting something, misspeaking, having someone misdirect him or whatever. He can sit there, spend as long as he wants, pull that video to bits, because then I can look at his response, and he doesn't want that. I'm sure his viewers would love how he, in quotes, pulls Mage to bits. It's wrong because of this. it's a cheat because of that. I'm sure they'll love it, but what he won't love is the fact that I would then be able to show why he's wrong.
Right.
But there we go.
Well, just
But he won't leave
acknowledging
his
the
channel,
experiment.
so- I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mitch.
I'm sorry, dear.
No.
I
I
said
apologize. Go ahead.
just acknowledging the experiment gives it legitimacy, Mr. Sensible. That's the problem.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've acknowledged Riley's salt and egg experiment and then pulled it to bits because it's crap. You know, if he can do that to Mage, I think, oh, blimey, I didn't think of that and I haven't proved that or my evidence isn't good enough. That's fine. I'll either say, hey, hands up, I can't do it, or, right, I'm going to have another crack at it and I'll try and address those concerns and those errors that you've pointed out. Otherwise, it stands.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're doing real science. They don't like real science.
Nathan is ace. More like ace hole. Oh, multi-tom-tom. If Nathan is so ace, why is it that he will not and cannot address Mage? After I was asking him for over a week on every single video of his, do you know what he said? He said, what is this Mage? I haven't heard of it, which was absolute tripe. Of course he had. So what is it that is the reason that he will not address it then, Tom Tom? I look forward to hearing that.
I definitely know what he would say anyway if he were to address it. He would say, yeah, but it is not an experiment because you can't go out yourself and manipulate the air pressure with a valve or something up there. So
Yeah,
he would
but-
outright dismiss it because of his...
variable.
Yeah, exactly. He would outright dismiss this thing because of his twisted way of defining science.
Yeah.
You've got an independent variable. The independent variable was the height. It was changing all the time. And we can manipulate that. We had, if you remember, originally we had a target height of 30 kilometres. We then chose a target height of 39.
Right,
We actually got to 38, 700 and whatever it was. So we manipulated that. So we've headed that one off at the
they'll
pass.
have to say but they say you have to personally manipulate it.
Well, we did. We chose the amount. Yeah, we did.
You
We put in
didn't
a
fly
differing
the balloon.
differing amount of
You didn't
gas.
push it up there by yourself all the way.
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
That's what I'm implying. This is how they get around all that.
You didn't have a crane to lift it up there.
Well, multi tom tom, I appreciate you saying Mage is ball ox as a counter argument. It doesn't really
Actually,
debunk
he's saying
what was.
hugs and kisses right there. O and X.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, Tom Tom, I've shown you a photograph saying it's ball ox.
I'll be right up.
Doesn't mean anything. That you can see the video from launch. I'm holding holding Mage, looking into the camera. It goes up, flies around for whatever it was, 2.5 hours, comes down, sits in a field until I pick it up.
Right.
It's filmed continuously. I'd like to know how that is ball ox. Yes, well, Martin H says perhaps it would be better if I dressed up in a rubber duck outfit. That could help.
That would be funny.
Hey, I'm out of here.
Oh, thanks.
Talk to you
Hey,
guys.
Mitch.
is Julie all right, Mitch?
Oh, she's fine. I'm in my office today.
Yeah,
so
that's fine. That's fine. I
she's
just
been
want to
out.
make sure everything's
No,
okay.
everybody's fine. Thank goodness. Everybody's well.
Good.
Just going to dash off and get my takeout.
Okay, well, you take care. Say hi to Julie, won't you? And catch you again sometime soon, my friend.
All right.
Enjoy your
Take care,
food,
everybody. Be well.
All the best, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Multi-Tom, so Mage was an observation gone wrong. Why? What was wrong about
Really?
it? You can take that footage. The entire footage is available. If you wish, I can email you. The telemetry file, so you have the data that produced the graphics with the height and pressures and so on. So you can have that, and you can use that to investigate to see where I went wrong. Please be my guest. Hello, Chris Durham.
I'm curious to know if Multi actually watched your videos or like whatever he did with them, or other people's that, you know what I mean?
That's true. Tom, can you confirm? Did you see my Mage the results video? Perhaps one of the mods can drop a link into the side chat for Tom. Generally Shady, once again, thank you, General. You're very generous. $5 Australian. Tom's head in a physical impossibility, completely empty vacuum, yet the most dense object on Earth. He needs reminders to breathe. Oh, Tom. Honestly, we would have a good chat. I would really look forward to it.
Yeah, because I'd be curious to know, because it's like people looking at going to the flat earth and watching 200 proofs. That's just BS, you know? It is. And then they're making their mind up just from that one thing, right?
Yeah, that was the most
look at both sides.
2 hours of my life.
Sides. Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Sensible. How are you doing?
Hello, C. How are you, my friend?
Hello, boss.
You all right?
I am doing great.
Good.
I just saw that you were online. I've been looking after my wonderful granddaughter for a couple of hours, keeping an eye on her and making sure she was nice and relaxed. And I thought I'd just pop in and say hi.
Thank you.
Good evening, Colin.
Hi. Well, we're having fun and games. We've covered everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to be taking on Elon Musk. Apparently, I'm going to take him down. At least with respect to Hyperloop.
Hyperloop, by any chance?
Yes, Hyperloop. But we'll leave him with SpaceX. You know, he needs to keep busy. We got Multi Tom in the chat saying that Mage is ball ox, but providing no real counter to it. I'm afraid.
Good.
No.
Well, I don't think Multi Tom would be able to actually watch your video, because I don't think you can actually see anything on a mobile phone.
Oh.
Oh, come on, Tom. I'll tell you what, Tom. I will have a look. I bet I've still got it then. If I've obviously, I'm not going to release any information. 100% do not believe in doxing or anything like that. I promised it's confidential, and it is. But I'm just seeing if I've. I can't see it off the top of my head. It's possible it's still there somewhere, but otherwise, please just send me an email and then I'll reply again. Because I have been asking you for ages to either come on or have a debate or a chat or whatever, and I do mean that. So there's no reason for me to deliberately get rid of your message.
Jesus, Multi. I'm hiding that.
What's...
If you want to look at
yeah,
it,
come on, Tom.
Martin H. got to have righted.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Yeah. Tom, you know that I'm open, more than open, for you to try and debunk Mage. I want that, because if you can show I'm wrong, I have learnt something. If you can show that I may or may not be wrong, but I haven't evidenced anything because I've made some sort of error, that's great. I have learnt something. I will improve and try again. Just calling people names doesn't get you anywhere. Especially when a nice moderator then goes and hides your message. So that's a waste of time, isn't it?
It's just massively childish to go and call names.
Yeah.
Very childish.
And that means you have no argument if all you're doing is calling names.
Yeah. Little children aren't that childish most of the time.
I like that, Colon.
Yeah, Multi, I know you don't do Discord, but it's not a bad thing. You know, you don't have to be physically on Discord all the time. But it's good for communicating, and that's what we're trying to do with you, is communicate verbally.
But I will do Zoom or another equivalent, Tom.
Holy moly, did I?
I'm happy to do that. Basic trigonometry. Good evening to you.
Mr. S.
Hello.
Just want to remind Multi Tom Tom that he has actually accepted a debate with somebody, and we are still waiting for him to get in contact.
So are you
He's
talking?
supposed to be having a Multi Tom Tom is supposed to be having a chat with Dick Dawson.
Really?
Oh, so that's two people then, Tom Tom.
Yes. I wonder if he's actually going to contact him as well, or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably not.
I'm going to have a dig around and see if I can find that email. See, you weren't here earlier on. I said he hadn't contacted me. He said I lied. He had emailed. I didn't lie. I made a mistake and I had forgotten. And I've openly admitted that I made an error. So we had emailed one or two messages, but then it all went dead. And I don't know what's happened. But
it always gets me, Mr. S. It always gets me that people say people lie too quickly.
Yes.
When an error can be made. And as long as the person admits that error is made, then there's no lie.
Yes.
So Tom Tom, Mr. S has been an honourable person.
Have you gone quiet, Tom Tom?
He's gone quiet.
Is he still there? I tell you what, Tom Tom, I do check your channel, and you've not produced anything for quite a little while, have you? Oh, I think he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, I think he left.
Yeah, he's gone.
He does that.
Finite in Catarte.
Oh,
Jupiter and Saturn. Oh,
London.
Still showing his
Yeah,
tag.
yeah.
Oh, no, he's still there. He's still there.
I don't know why, Tom Tom, you weren't appearing on the list of participants unless you've been out and back in again. What's funny about Jupiter and Saturn? Have you ever looked at Jupiter? I watched Jupiter with a pair of binoculars when I was a kid, and checking every few hours and whatnot, you could see the moons, the four major moons, orbiting around it.
I was reading that next month Jupiter and Saturn will almost look like twin planets. They'll be close to each other from our perspective.
Okay.
And maybe that's what he's talking about.
Just remember, though, the perspective is imagining a dome with dots all over it.
That's right.
Martin H., what's your scopes? Oh, as in telescopes. I wondered, what is this? Some fancy software? Well,
the telescope's a true zoom.
Tom Tom, if you're not going to come on, my friend, hopefully we can hook up. Do a video, please. Address Mage. Make sure you're looking at the right video, which is Mage. It's called Mage, What Shape is the Earth? That's the name of it. That's the one you need to look at. That's the one you need to try and debunk. You know you're trying to debunk the right camera if it's the one that's got two strings across it. Not the one with the balloon in it. Not the one where the horizon's bending all over the place. That's the wide-angle camera. The one with the two strings. Debunk that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah, but you gotta look at both sides.
Well,
just make sure the scopes are out of focus or folks won't understand.
Thanks, Colon. Colon's just given you the link. Colon's just given you the link to the Mage one to debunk. So there's no excuse. You've got it there. Yep. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, just in case he couldn't use his phone properly.
Of course, you won't be able to. Flirts are good at not using their phone properly.
Yeah.
Why do they always film portrait, not landscape? I've never worked that out. Almost without fail.
Well, their vision
because they can hold it better.
Their vision is so narrow that they can only go to a popular portrait. They have a very wide train of thoughts. It's very narrow. And landscape would show them up.
What does that mean, Multi-Tom-Tom? Stars having shorter circuits? What are you talking about? What circuits? Stars don't have circuits.
I think he's short-circuited something in his head. But
See, this is where it's so hard.
Stars actually move, like in circles, or like we're. Well, he thinks he's a flat earther, so he thinks we're stationary and everything moves around us.
Circuits.
Year later.
So I'm wondering if he's talking about the star trails and stuff.
Well, I saw again in the comments on one, I think it was an Oakley video, but I can't be 100%, someone saying if the Earth and the solar system was really moving at so many million miles an hour or whatever, then the stars would have moved. And I just said, Barnard's star. You don't know how you've just been debunked, do you?
Room Fondell actually makes a good point. Filming portrait, they are less likely to film the curve.
Room Fondle, how are Magic Thighs? I hope Magic Thighs is okay. Film the curve. Well, that's true. Yeah. Planets are not planets, says Multi Tom Tom. Well, what on earth are there? What on earth are they? You look at the major planets, certainly with a scope, you can see the disk of them. They're only called wandering stars because the ancients thought they were the same as all the other stars, but those ones moved about. They wandered. I'm afraid they are planets.
Stars.
I'm sorry?
Hence the term wandering stars.
Absolutely.
Right. Because that's what they look like.
What about the spelling?
Ah, thank you, Vroomfondle. Apparently Magic Thighs is out banging the rocks together. That's the secret. Bang the rocks together, guys.
Yep.
Clink, clink, clink.
It's a shame, actually, Multi Tom Tom, that you haven't got two heads, because you could have endless fun banging them to each other, banging them into each other. All luminaries are plasma. Okay, so is the moon plasma as well, Tom Tom? Is the moon plasma? And if it's if the luminaries are plasma, like Venus, how come you can see the various phases? Why does the plasma happen to switch on, switch off in exactly the same pattern as it would if it was a sphere? And always the side that's towards the sun happens to be lit plasma. How convenient.
9 o'clock hero says Tom Tom's pet rock died of boredom.
Oh God.
That poor rock. Aw.
So Tom Tom, is the moon plasma? That's a direct question, Tom Tom. I'd like to know, would you say that the moon is plasma? Come on, Tom Tom.
Hey, Mr.
No,
S,
never mind
while
that
you're
Earth
waiting.
is stationary. Is the moon plasma? Yes, see.
I'm just going to reply to that one straight away. No, the Earth is not stationary.
Not stationary.
Not even in a rotationally orbit. It has also a libration,
Yes.
which people don't spot, which is controlled by the moon,
What things
would you
appear
believe?
to be sometimes are not. Hello.
Well,
Oh my God.
I think Bob measured something. It's 15 degrees per hour or something.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Bob.
Bob.
Yes, thanks, Bob.
Let's get a thanks, Bob, out of everyone, please.
All lights in the sky are
All in chat.
plasma. Do you have a citation for this? Have you been there?
So, Tom Tom, I'm still asking because you could say that the moon is a light in the sky. Certainly, on a full moon, you can see, it lights up quite brightly. So, is the moon plasma? I want to hear a
Well, he
yes
said
or a
all
no.
lights in the sky are. So
Well, yeah,
think he means-
yeah. You're right. He did say all lights in the sky, but I want him to explicitly say if the moon is plasma or not.
Everybody
Oh,
in the chat
thanks,
say
Bob.
Bob.
Lots of thanks, Bobs.
Yeah, before he started making that little statement, I just wanted to ask that the moon actually has a libration. It actually wobbles.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if it's plasma, we wouldn't see it wobble.
And why
because
would
it'd
it
be lit
wobble?
all the time? Exactly. But we can see it over a time lapse. 27 days. All you have to do is look up multi. Honestly, just look up.
Well, I've shown in several of my videos, I've actually got it as a... Yes, I have a video about the moon. Yeah, so you are saying the moon is plasma. I thought that you had said that in an old video, but I did not want to just assume that.
Having a video doesn't mean it's true.
No.
Monty.
But Tom,
Saying.
how can you have visible features like craters that are unchanging? How can you have shadows on something that's a light source? Why do you get the shadows of around craters? They lengthen and shorten during the course of the rotation of the moon as the sun lights up and casts these shadows using those mountains. How can that happen if it's a ball of plasma?
I mean, you can look at plasma. You can make it in your microwave. It looks nothing like the moon.
The moon does... I'm wondering if I can quickly pull it. I've got a brilliant little clip. If the
moon is made of plasma, how does it have phases? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, I know what you mean.
It would be full all the time if it were plasma.
Oh, David Oliver's just super chatted £5. Thank you, David, saying, are the lights of aeroplanes in the sky made of plasma? Lumfeo. Luna. I found it. Let me just see if I can... Right. I'll see if I can pull this in. Let me make Tom Twat transparent. Please, can I? Says General E. Shady for $2 Australian. Right, Tom. I'm hoping in just a minute, Tom, I have something interesting to show you. I don't know if it will play it here.
Craters are not craters. Tom says.
What are they then? Tom?
Oh, please, Multi, please tell me that it's a dog's chew toy.
Chew toy, yes.
Oh, man.
Right, I am getting this sorted out. I found the relevant file. I've just got to pull it into OBS. Useful clips.
Why do I think he thinks the moon is like in the Truman Show and they've got that big... It's used to hide a big control room. Saying, go watch my videos. We have multi. We have.
Why isn't that showing?
And a lot of them don't make any sense.
Right. Oh, I've got this now. Have a go at this then, Tom. This is the moon throughout the month. You can see it wobbling. You can see the phase of the moon. There are features, the seas and craters. They are unchanging, or at least within our lifetime. So I'd like an explanation. That's lunar libration. It's the wobble of the moon. So it's
Your
a lovely...
videos will not change the world, Multi. I'm so sorry.
And just for Multi's sake, if you wants to watch that video, there you go.
Oh, that's the same one, is it? It's a beautiful clip, isn't it?
Look at that. That's nice.
It's awesome.
I love that. Gorgeous.
IdeaPad77 says, Multi Tom, you're so wrong. Suck it up, princess. Yes, absolutely. So, I'd like to see an explanation for that then, Tom. But I bet we won't. I bet we won't.
Your videos are hilarious. They're so sillily wrong.
See, Tom, it'd actually be easier if you came on here and had a one-on-one with me. That would be just you and I. The others would not be in the room. So you could just argue your case and you could fire back your answers and explanations straight away. It'd be a lot easier. Right now, you're getting hammered by everyone in the side chat as well as people in here. So, there we go. Maybe we should do a live debunk of Multi Tom Tom's
I
videos.
will happily leave to make you come on.
There you go, Tom Tom. I mean, it's my channel. You know that I've had flat earthers on here before. We got Rachy00000 in the side chat. She has been on. She did not suffer loads of abuse. We obviously disagreed, but it was a perfectly civilized discussion as far as it went. We didn't do that much discussion. We were trying to process the images, but there was no problem at all. And I'm sure that Rachy would give a thumbs up in the side chat to say that she would trust me and come on again. So there you go. And as Vroomfondle says, the dark bit of that moon was not really emitting much plasma glow, was it?
Nope.
As in, none at all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mr. Sensible.
Hello.
I just want to reiterate as well that Rachy came into the live waiting room, and everybody was in there was civil to her as well.
Yes.
While she was waiting to go into the show.
Yep.
So there's no attacks here.
Multi Tom Tom has actually, I am gobsmacked, said something correct. The sun actually spins. Yes, it does. And it rotates at different speeds, the different parts of the sun.
Kudos to you, Multi. You
What's that got to do with the shape of the Earth or the moon being made of plasma? The sun does rotate.
I thought the
does
moon was
rotate.
made of green cheese.
It could be.
No, it's yellow cheese.
No, it was made out of dug out of the Grand Canyon by giants and filled with helium and put up there to mock the Earth.
Oh no! Hey, whatever happened
That's
to
part
Flat
of
Earth
Ozzy.
Aussie Jesus
I don't
Roscoe?
know. I would love to know.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him for a while, have we?
Are you surprised?
Oh, I see. Rachy has given a thumbs up. So there you go, Tom Tom.
Yeah, she says she can't see Multi Tom Tom, so either she's blocked him or he blocked her.
Oh, okay.
So you know what? Don't sweat it, Rachy.
Yeah, yeah. You've given a thumbs up, so thank you for that, Rachy.
Yeah.
Multi Tom Tom, the moon produces
Moon
its own
produces
light.
its own light.
So, Multi Tom Tom, when we're at the last part of a moon cycle and is only the thinnest slither, is the rest of the moon shining black. You got a half moon. Is it half shining light and half shining dark?
I didn't know you could shine dark. I didn't think that made sense.
Well, yeah. I mean,
sounds like an oxymoron.
so many people can answer have measured the speed of light, but very few have measured the speed of dark.
Right.
On a dark moon, anti-lit
That's
night.
funny.
Anti-light. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Anti-light. So come on, Tom Tom. You've got a partial moon.
Oh my god.
Why is only part of it? I know what it is.
Why do I think?
I have mentioned before. Long before I sort of cottoned onto flat earthers on YouTube, I used to follow the flat earthers on the Flat Earth Society forums, and the question about the moon's phases came up, and someone came up with an explanation: moon shramp, not moon shrimp, moon shramp. They are apparently creatures that live on the moon, and they're phosphorescent. And they migrate across the face of the moon, leaving you with the.
No way.
And I think that Multi Tom Tom may be about to put this forward as an explanation. So, is it moon shramp, Multi Tom Tom?
The moon charges and discharges its energy. How did I know he was going to go
Then
there?
it can't be plasma.
It
So as
discharges.
the phases go, it's charging up, and when they go away, it's recharging.
Okay, so why does it only ever give out that light
God.
on the side that happens to be pointing directly at the sun?
Right.
And even on that side, and whether it's the full face towards us lit up, when you get a full moon, why is it you do get shadows? Do some bits not work of this plasma?
I think the the sun is charging the moon. That must be it, isn't it?
Must be it. That must be it.
So it's only
made of
lights
glow
while it's
paint.
being charged. And
Yes, of course.
The second it's not lit, it doesn't hold. It's like my old phone, then, isn't it? It doesn't hold its charge at all. As soon as it gets out of the sunlight, it fails to provide any more light.
Don't you know we went up to the moon to paint it with reflective glow paint? So the sun charged it out.
Oh man.
And as I said,
But that means we have been to the moon.
that's right. That's right.
But the flesh would deny that.
But we can't have, because the moon is just a light in the sky.
That's right.
So how can David Oliver super chatted £5? Actually, Mr. Sensible, Vsauce did a good video on the speed of dark. I did see that, and it annoyed me because I thought I was the only person who talked about the speed of dark. But yeah, thank you for that.
According to Jeff P., the sun actually does charge the lunar surface. I don't know if it charges it or probably just makes it hot.
That wouldn't make it hot.
I wouldn't consider.
I think that there's static electricity on the moon from the sun.
It could be. Yeah.
It
So
looks
that's technically a charge. Yeah.
looks like Mr. PhD Tone is having a pleasant conversation with Rachie. That's great stuff.
He has been the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wormy Spoons. That's a hell of a name.
That's a good name, isn't it?
Wow.
Don't eat off those spoons.
There is a spoon. It's wormy.
Multi Tom Tom says the sun and the moon are not related in any way. Well, only in the fact that the moon is orbiting the Earth, orbiting the sun.
Mm-hmm.
They're totally different things. One's made of rock and one's a huge ball of nuclear plasma.
Right.
Oh, Mr. S.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm getting a little message through from two little tiny white things near my desk. I think I'm going to have to put them back in the case because they say the names of Frankie and Benji and they want their planet back.
Okay. Multi Tom Tom, they do want to see if the answer, if you have the answer to all this, they'll have to examine your brain. It'll have to be removed, prepared, diced. Oh, to business. To business.
Oh, awesomely set up.
Oh dear. Oh, Tom, you do make me laugh. I actually did a little video about you, Tom, but it's not going to show on my channel. It's going to show on someone else's channel, but I'm not sure on the timing.
No, Multi.
The luminaries have no weight. Whoa! How does the moon luminary, then pull on all our oceans, giving us the tides, Tom? Oh, and Jeff P said that, typed that at the same time. Great minds think alike, Jeff, and fools never differ, of course. Nuclear plasma. Oh God, are you saying there's no such thing as nuclear reactions, then, Tom? This is painfully slow. This is why I'd rather do it. We could actually have a real nice conversation. Have I sworn at you?
Voice.
Oh, Tom, this is my channel, okay? I could sit here and swear. We know that there are other people on both sides that F and blind and swear and insult and whatever. I don't do that. If I was going to do that, I could do it now, but I don't. You could come in here, you could chat. Nuclear.
Mr. S.
Hello.
I just looked up the word luminary just for the sheer hell of it, the old aspect. And the first part that comes up is a person who inspires or influences others, especially one's prominence in a particular sphere.
Oh dear.
That's awesome.
Oh, Tom.
Love the swear part.
Yeah, actually, Tom, Pythagoras has just asked, do you know what triangles are? Can you tell us, Tom, what the internal angles are in a triangle with sides 1, 1, 1? Can you tell us that?
He can't. Come on, don't
give
hurt,
him a
don't hurt
chance.
it-
Give him a
don't hurt
chance.
He
It's-
only works in miles.
Just don't hurt his imaginary brain because he can't tell you what the answer
Not
would be.
kilometers, just miles.
They'll just break his brain.
You can't split an atom. Excuse me, Multi.
What does a nuclear bomb do?
L.
Good, Adam.
There's an awful lot of
Power
people.
plant too.
Yeah.
Tom, there's an awful lot of people who lived in Hiroshima and Nagasaki who would disagree with you.
Sadly, they did have a real blast.
Oh, God.
I know, bad joke.
That was awful.
I watched a really good video today on quantum mechanics and engineering from the Royal Institute. The guy was trying to explain what an atom actually is. How even we consider the picture of an atom, as in the textbooks, is a cartoon, right? We know it. Because when we actually start analyzing what an atom is, we realize there's actually a cloud of, or a field of energy surrounding the atom that, when exploded, emit like a wave when we're not looking at it, but as particles. So that's where the radiation comes from. The movements of the electrons. Kind of a fun subject.
And that's what superconductors are for.
And Multi-Tom-Tom got the triangle question
I
right.
know. I was just going to say, Multi-Tom says 180 divided by 3 equals 60.
Nice.
How long
Very
did that
good.
take you to Google that, though, Tom? Anyone else would have just, if they come up with the answer, said, well, it's 60 or 70 or I don't know. Don't leave it
We just
5
ask
minutes
them the next
before
one.
finally coming up with the actual formula. Generally Shady, $2 Australian, GoFundMe.
Yes.
I have to make Tom transparent. Oh dear.
Have to.
Oh
I think
dear.
we have to ask the next one. What is 5 divided by 0?
Yep, that's a good one.
There you go, Tom. Question from Colon there. What's 5 divided by 0? Oh, I didn't notice when General's Super Chat came out. Am I still getting the Arnold at the top of the screen? Oh, there he is. He's just appeared on my
apparently-
screen. Yay!
Multi says firebombed. I'm assuming that's regarding Nagasaki.
That's true. It could
Is that
could be what he's talking
what you're
about. But
referring to, Multi?
as is pointed out, what about Chernobyl? Russia kept that secret.
Right.
It was discovered by the radiation falling across
As for the-
Europe.
As for the fire bombs, you
This
need
Arnold,
a
you
hell
should
of
have
a
all
lot
the,
of bombs. Individual fire bombs to do the same damage.
Yeah.
Oh, come,
And it
look,
was one
Could not
thing.
do.
atoms
And
are
the
met.
effects that people have suffered since. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Someone said, "Does Tom exist?" I don't think he does.
Atoms are metaphysical.
What?
Okay then.
The hell, Multi?
Tom, what is metaphysical then, please?
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
And Chris Durham's right. At least Tom did answer. Moose Fliss
David
would have
Oliver
even
has
looked at
it
the
right.
answer.
If atoms don't exist, then nothing exists.
At that point, I'm wondering whether or not he's serious.
I know.
Oh no, I've seen his videos. He's serious.
Yeah. He is.
First time I've seen him
just-
write that though.
It's
I
just
don't know.
denial. It's just denial.
He doesn't know what metaphysical means.
No.
Well done.
What does he know? 5 divided by 0.
Wow.
He's working out how to put that into Google.
Probably trying it on his calculator and wonder why it keeps on coming up with error.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, as Ilya Lates says, firebombed by one plane. Tokyo
Right.
fire raid had hundreds of B-29s.
Yep.
And Hiroshima was flattened. It wasn't just burnt and that sort of thing, wreckage. It was flattened. It was a central part.
And people had effects of radiation afterwards.
Honestly, Tom, that really is a
Same.
stupid thing to be claiming that there's no such thing as nuclear reactions and nuclear bombs and whatever. That is absolutely stupid. Oh, apparently metaphysics is Greek BS.
Greek.
Oh, does he want the actual definition? It means the essential metaphysical questions of the nature of the mind. So it's contemplation. Not Greek bullshit. Contemplation. Well done, Multi. Again.
It seems like he doesn't understand, so if he doesn't understand, it's all BS. Which is normal.
Well,
Wow.
you do keep us amused, Tom. PhD Tony says that it was a professional Go game on the outskirts of Hiroshima that day, and they saw it happen as one blast.
Wow. Yeah.
So, Tom, if you know all about it, do you know the name of the aeroplane that supposedly dropped it?
Shut up, class. Don't say it.
Well, nobody tell him. Nobody tell him.
I'm not. I want to, but I'm not gonna.
Oh, hang on. Woo.
Kikos Maximus says, I'm Greek and it's not bullshit. Have you got a friend called Bigus Dickus? She has a wife, you know, Incontinentia buckets.
I thought he had a friend named Smallest Dickus.
Oh, Multi Tom says, you people don't know anything, but you haven't told us the name of the aeroplane, have you, Tom? It's all Greek to Multi.
All Greek to me. Yep.
And as IdeaPad77 says, Multi Tom, how does wind scale generate electricity? This is true. Leave aside nuclear bombs, which we don't tend to see every day. We do tend to consume an awful lot of electric that's been generated at nuclear power stations. How does that work then? Tony Regime, there certainly is a song by OMD. Definitely is.
And Mr. S, I actually appreciate Multi Tom's banner on his YouTube page.
Was he changed it?
If he shuts his... Oh, it just says stop the madness.
Oh, yes.
Oh, he
Please.
googled again.
Hey! Multi Tom, Google is your friend.
He had to Google, he can use Google, so there's no excuse next time.
Well done, Tom.
but
That
is
is
there
the right
What
answer.
was the name of the bomb?
That's the one I was going to ask. What was the bomb on Hiroshima and which was the name of the bomb on Nagasaki? And what was the difference?
Oh, you're pushing me now. I think I remember one of the
I
names.
don't know the names, but I think I know the difference.
I know the names, but I don't know which one was
Same
on which
with me. I know the
city.
names, but I can't remember which city, which one was used on.
I
which
keep
city.
getting muddled up with the names of the bombs on Dr. Strangelove.
One, I will tell you, one was an implosion type bomb, and the other one was a compression type bomb. Or sorry,
Okay.
gun type bomb. But can you tell me which is which? Which is the implosion type bomb, and which is the gun type?
What's the first? I got gun type. What other type was there?
An implosion.
Well, look, it's
I
50-50.
only know about uranium and
Basically, got explosives wrapped around the physical material, and when the
Right.
explosives are set off, it compresses the physical material, triggering the atomic explosion.
Gotcha.
And one of them was a gun type where you
Do you
have a
see,
mass
Tom?
of physical material, and you fire a chunk of it into it.
And Tom, you've got Glass Monster talking about the bombs. You've got people in here giving the names of the bombs. How do these people know these things? It's because we read, we learn, and we understand. We don't, not be funny, don't just make shit up, which is all you've done with this plasma thing. Jessica G says, Team Skeptic stream is starting. Good night to you, Jessica. Thank you for joining us. If anyone else is looking to go over there, by all means do. Give Team my best. I say give Team my best and say that you've come from Mr. Sensible. Thank you, everyone who's because we've been going 2 hours on this, the second stream of the night. Did you hear about that, Colon?
3 hours, 2.5 hours actually.
No, what happened? Because I did see the first one. I was partly through it, and then I suddenly realised you were live again.
Yeah, all that happened is suddenly I couldn't move around in my Discord. I saw I had a DM. I couldn't move. Everything else was working. Then people started breaking up on Discord. Then my browser showing the stream froze. Then my OBS froze. And eventually I thought, right, I've got to just reboot the machine. And I couldn't even reboot the machine. I had to hit the big red button.
So I've been having a similar problem with OBS, but I haven't had the machine freeze.
Just as long as that red button isn't inside of a briefcase with the label football.
Yes. Well, Multi Tom Tom says he wins. Damn.
Then what did he win?
Well, I guess I should do the decent thing, Tom Tom.
Jesus Christ, I am offended by that. I study history. No.
Tom Tom claims a win for tonight. I mean, what can I say? Obviously the better man has apparently won.
Who's this imaginary Jesus Christ? Who is that imaginary feller?
It's a guy who probably lived, but we're not certain. And people think he was the Messiah.
He's not the Messiah, he's just a naughty boy.
I said people think.
Normal humans do think, yes, I'll give them that, but blood earthers don't seem to know how to do that. That seems to be beyond their pay grade.
Well, General E. Shady said, let's all go home. Tom Twats won.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
And don't forget, guys, that as you leave, it's one cross each, first door on the left.
Yes. But oh no, they said I got freedom. They said I haven't done anything and I can go home.
Oh, is that to the little island?
Oh, Tom, come on! It would honestly be a real good laugh. You got some whiz bang theories, and I'd love to talk about them. I really would.
We have free white jackets, complete with straps and buckles. We'll put on for you.
Yeah, they're a bugger to put on yourself, aren't they?
Yes.
And they got serial numbers on the back, so we know who to.
And we got a nice room with padded walls you can go into as well.
Yeah, it's hard to hurt yourself in there. It's nice and soft.
I mean, I would give him a free history lesson.
There you go.
And
history or history.
And I've forgotten who was it. Was it General Shady would make you transparent? Was it General Shady?
History is a lie, and there's no past. It's just the present, and the past is all an illusion.
Sorry, I could go off on a tangent here because it's kind of true. Because, it's one of the first things they taught us in the history. I study it in German. Sorry. The underlying principles of it, we don't know the past exactly. We construct what we think is the past by the evidence we have, whether in written photos, other things we dig up. So we construct a model of what could have been, but we do it with evidence. We don't just make shit up, basically.
No, and I see that Ilya Late says World War II is at TomTom. Read some history. World War II is well documented. Stop insulting all the people that suffered during that time. I didn't see that. TomTom, are you denying World War II? Are you denying the Holocaust? Are you denying the use of nuclear weapons?
Don't bring that up. Please don't.
Well, more importantly, is he denying his own personal history? He has a past from birth till now. That means his life has been history. Correct?
What, is he denying that history happened? Tom, 2 hours ago, whatever it was, I had another live stream. That is history. It happened.
And
it's documented.
You can see it again.
And General Shady, again, is super chatted, $2 Australian. GoFundMe. I'll make him transparent, I promise.
Trying so hard.
Hey, Tom, I think the General's got the hots for you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
It is funny.
He's trying. Generally, Shady's like, "Come on, man, let me at him. Let me at him."
Let's slip the dogs of war.
There you go. That's funny.
Thomas says, pretty sure Jesus was in Big Lebowski. So there's that.
Yeah, he was.
And of course, Jesus also was in Monty Python's Life of Brian, Sermon on the Mount.
Yep.
Blessed are the cheesemakers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Blessed all the cheesemakers, I think. Or something
Well,
like
obviously,
that.
it's a parable. It's all manufacturers of dairy products.
Take me here.
Oh, right. Guys, it's now 12:30. I think I'm going to wrap up now. Tom, it's been a blast. It would be more fun if you actually come on. You said you have my email still. I have looked briefly and I couldn't find yours. So I'm currently relying on you emailing me. Let's do this thing. Let's get it sorted. Okay? As I said, it can be a full-on organised debate. It can be you coming in with everyone else in the room and chatting. It can be just you and me chatting. Okay? No winners, no losers, just chatting. You can put forward some of these ideas and let's talk about them. See if you can convince me. I am open to be convinced. I am. I don't think you'll be able to, but I'm open to it.
I wouldn't mind being a fly on the wall during that chat.
You can by listening to the stream. If I said to Tom, if he wants to have just one-on-one, it would be just me and him. Thanks, Brainery. Thanks everyone for tonight. It's been great, and it's been nice doing a stream again after this past week or so. Again, thank you for all the kind thoughts, wishes, and prayers from people. I do appreciate all the support I have received. I really do. And once again, I'll say a big shout out to Ranty Flat Earth. I don't know if you missed this, Colon. Do you know what Ranty did earlier on?
Oh no, go on.
Well,
Has
first,
he admitted that he got it wrong?
Hold on. First of all, he passed on his sort of condolences and so on, and his best wishes with regard to all this issue, with regard to my mum. Then he super chatted £15. He said, "Buy your mum a bottle of rosé."
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah,
He was actually nice.
A fair point.
yeah.
Very sweet.
And we're going to try and hook up and have a chat about Mage.
Fair enough. Be good to see that happen.
It
I know
would.
I've tried to contact him, and so he knows that you're interested.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Anything back from Brandon yet?
No, Brandon Toy has not responded.
Even though he said he emailed you.
Oh, did he? I've not had anything. I've not noticed anything in spam. If you have contact with him, or I can do it via, I might be able to do it via Ranty, because obviously we've now made contact. I hadn't realised his email address is on his video, so I will email Ranty so he can get something sorted. That would be good. I'll genuinely enjoy that. Genuinely enjoy that. Right, guys. Thank you very much. I am going to end the stream now. So if you all want to shout out good night, and then I'll
Good
mute
night.
you.
Alright.
Bye.
Thanks ever so much for
Bye.
joining me.
Thanks for the
Abiento.
memory.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Bye.
Everyone, thank you for joining me tonight. It's been a blast. I've really enjoyed it. Even you, Tom. But I want to do that one-on-one. Look forward to seeing you all again soon. Not sure when I'm going to be live streaming again. I haven't really thought about it, but I do have a couple of videos coming out over the next few days. So keep an eye out for those. If you haven't already, subscribe and well, if you are a subscriber, it might be worth unsubscribing, subscribing again, hit all notifications, because YouTube does seem to lose that every now and then. I can see people saying good night to you all. I really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care and stay sensible.